Welcome to Artificially Authentic with Nick Latour and Raul Rodriguez, and today we're answering the question, why is my ChatGPT so dumb?
That is a question I had to my AI scientist and our chief AI scientist, and I was like, "Why am I getting these weird results?" And you know that in this podcast, we love to talk about practical tips, things that are not obvious to everybody, and just help out a little bit. So, Nick, do you want me to explain why it was being so dumb?
I would love that because I think everyone will agree ChatGPT isn't dumb itself, but sometimes the results we get are dumb, or yeah. So what? Yeah,
Yeah.
please explain what you mean.
So I've been using it a lot lately. I mean, I always use it, right? But especially for in a couple of personal things. So one, uh, I've been training for this karate tournament, and still very excited there if I can participate because I have another injury in my hand. I've had all summer long, but I've been training really hard, and actually, ChatGPT has been really good at giving me a training program, but it sometimes like screws up really basic things. ChatGPT 5, like it would, screw up the dates. I was like, dude, it's a Saturday. Why are you giving me the workout for Thursday? What's going on? He's like, oh yeah, sorry, my bad. Or like,
I like that your ChatGPT has a voice
yeah,
like a doofy
or
voice.
that was in a South Park episode too, by the way.
Yeah.
They like just random things like, wait, why did you change my workout from what you told me at the beginning of the week? It's like, yeah, I just like made a mistake. It's like a lot of mistakes. And then everybody who knows me knows I'm a big sports fan. I love all kinds of sport. Like I'm a fighter. I used to play basketball. And if you guys should join the BPI Expo, the pickup game that Rory, shout out to Rory, that organizes on
Promo
the
hoops,
Monday
baby.
before promo
Yep.
hoops. Yeah, Nick is also a yearly participant. Great time, and me being from Mexico and also being a Spanish citizen, I love soccer, and I've gone to almost every World Cup except for the last one for a lot of logistical reasons. But went to '94 in the U.S. and then since 2006 had been going on up until the last one. So next one's going to be U.S., Canada, and my beloved Mexico. Um, and obviously, I have to go. Getting tickets for Mexico is proving to be really, really, really hard because we love soccer and there's millions of us. And playing at home, it's going to be hard. So I actually was able to win a ticket in the lottery, and I got tickets to at least see Spain. I was kind of worried because I did end up paying a little bit too much, or so I thought. But FIFA now has this like weird uh, pricing, dynamic pricing thing, and we also don't know where the cities are like yet, or where they will play. Right, like the draw is in December. They're selling you the tickets. It's like, hey, do you want to buy the first three Spain tickets? But you don't know where they're going to play. So I was trying to find the odds of where they could be based on data. So I was like, really, my opinion, like really simple things, but it kept missing like obvious things, right? Like for example, it'd say Spain could play in Group D. It was like, no, Group D is the U.S. They're the head of the group, and Spain is gonna be one of the heads of the group. So that can't happen. And I was like, oh yeah, and like it just kept making mistakes like that over and over and over. So I had to be super specific, and I did not like that.
Yeah.
So I talked to my chief AI scientist, like, this is really weird. He's like, are you using ChatGPT 5 Auto? And I was like, yeah. He's like, don't do that. So what does that mean? So right here, if you look at my screen, there's a little tab here. If you haven't used it, use it. So Auto is basically a little router that figures out if based on the question you should use instant or thinking. Instant's a very basic level type of AI, so it's great for helping you write a LinkedIn post, rewriting your blog. Instant's more than okay for that. For things that require several thinking, like another thing I was trying to play around with was U.S. metro areas, and it was like, what exactly is a metro area? I was like, what do you mean? Like, so those kind of things you need the thinking one. But what my our chief AI scientist was telling us is that their router, ChatGPT's router, actually doesn't work out that well. Can you believe that? Like,
Yeah, it's wild.
So he's like, you should always. So this is a tip. You should always try to put the thinking mind if you're doing anything that's a little bit complicated. So once I was like, okay, let me try doing that. And oh my God, now it does take a while, right? Like, so I thought for 27 seconds, which, sometimes for our ADHD brains, that's a lot, but it's really not that much. And I was like, hey, did I overpay for these tickets? It's like, no, here's all the analysis. And I was like, okay, where do you think the games could be based on these things? And it got it perfect. Now I thought for 2 minutes and 11 seconds, that's a long time, but it got it perfect. Last time I had to go back and forth and back and forth. It was like, dude, you're making so many mistakes. It got it perfect. So click on the thinking one. I know it sounds like a little bit silly, but something as simple as that was change everything for me.
All right. So the first search you did, the auto search, was, we'll call it dumb. It couldn't help you. It was frustrating. And then you do the thinking search and it's instant. But like what give me like some sort of delta here. Like how different are these two?
Yeah. So let's see this little thing right over here. So this graph looks into how grades the LMs and how smart they are.
Oh, okay.
So look at ChatGPT when you're using some of the lowest versions. It's one of the worst ones, like really, really bad. But the when you use one of the intelligent ones, you're all the way up here. So it makes a huge difference.
Wow.
Um, big, big, big difference. And that was the main thing from our team in our data science chief data officer.
Wow, that's really really cool. What other tips you got for us today, Raul?
Yeah, if you want to, one more quick thing. If you want to learn how they got to that decision, our chief AI officer also told me this cool little trick.
Ooh, I
You
like
can
tricks.
you can always ask, give me the reasoning notes.
Ah, so it will tell. I mean, I'm getting ahead of it. We're going to see some results here, but it can actually tell you how it came to that result.
Exactly. So uh, there you go. So if you're
Wow.
always like, that seems kind of iffy, tell me like how you got to that result. And it's like, oh, or maybe you just want to change it, right? It's like, oh, you know what? Like this thing is actually wrong. Like recalculate it. But whenever you're not sure about the results, just type this. Give me the reasoning notes.
I love that. A lot of people are worried about AI making everyone dumber and doing things for us, but I would argue that you can actually learn a lot from AI. And this
Mm-hmm.
is a perfect example. It's like get a quick answer, and then like you said, if you know, let me check that. Like give me your reasoning, and then now you probably learn something from reading the reasoning as well.
Exactly. See, cool tips
So
as we
cool.
promised in this podcast.
Yes, you did it again, Raul.
We did it.
We did it. We did it. That's true. Sure. Uh, all right, everybody. That's enough for today. We'll see you next time on Artificially Authentic.